Gervonta Tank Davis reacts to Canelo Alvarez running from David Benavidez, and it is classic humor, but sad at the same time. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back. It's your boy Fanon, and we're going to be talking this boxing. We have some updates that have taken place in the sport of boxing over the last 24 hours, and we're going to get you up to date as far as Canelo Alvarez, Gervonta Davis, Matchroom Boxing, and the PBC as questions are answered and asked and answered. And some people are skipping over the important parts, at least the parts that I think are important. And we're going to go over that. Specifically, we're going to talk about Gervonta Davis laughing at a truth that has been told of not an actual truth, but a figuratively something that I think is probably close to the truth. Let me put it that way. Now, before I get into it, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really makes a huge difference to the channel. And let me get into this, man. Shout out to the king of them super thanks, my guy, Matty-O, helping the channel stay afloat during the time where there's not a lot of actual boxing events going on, and the general public is not as interested. And it's during these times where we get some of these more obscure conversations, but always a chance to educate. There's always an opportunity to learn. And this is a learning scenario for me. And it is for me to continue to judge people on what they do and not on what they say. Believe when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And in this particular instance, it did not surprise me, even though I was hopeful that it would not happen, that Canelo Alvarez would not fight David Benavidez, would not find a worthy opponent for his next fight, and that he would go with the temptation being laid out in front of him once again by Eddie Hearn to get paid a lot of money to do nothing. And so there was a tweet that came out that Gervonta Davis laughed about, but I laughed about it too, where somebody said, and shout out to the person that said it, but I'm not going to put you on blast in a live stream. He said, I know that Al Heyman was like, man, you are Canelo, get your HOASS out my office. after he decides that he's going to go fight either Jaime Munguia or Berlanga on DAZN. Now, that for a lot of people is a moment to celebrate for some reason. Right? Gervonta Davis responds to it with a bunch of laugh emojis, but laugh with tears. For me, I would have laughed, but really to keep from crying, because I like Canelo Alvarez and I like the sport of boxing. And when you have somebody in his position that is put in the really strange position that he's in, which is always having somebody trying to pay him to do less. Always having somebody trying to pay him to do something you don't want to see him do. So you have guys like specifically Eddie Hearn, who has paid this man to fight Yildirim, paid this man to fight Billy Joe Saunders, paid this man to fight Rocky Fielding, paid this man to fight Callum Smith. It's kind of over and over. Now Berlanga is the forerunner in this who is Canelo Alvarez gonna fight move, Edgar Berlanga. And you have people who are out here talking about how they're happy about it. It proves the PBC is broke. Maybe it's PBC proven that they're not just going to spend money on any old thing. And it's not worth paying Canelo $35 million if you're going to lose money. And they're just not in the business of losing money on events. They have a new contract with Amazon Prime, which for some reason people want to act it's not real or it's not valuable. Tried to bring a big fight with Canelo Alvarez on there, and Canelo Alvarez declined. I don't know if that means that there's more money for other fights. I don't know what it means. All I know is I can't wait for March 30th to get here so that we can once again start seeing big fights, or fights at least that are potentially competitive. But what's going on with the zone is a lot of it's mismatch room. It's mismatch room over there. That is ridiculous. I don't want to see that fight. And I'm going to tell you, more than likely, I'm not going to buy that fight. I am somebody that definitely will buy a pay-per-view. I don't think I'm going to buy that fight, especially if it winds up being something where I have to pay for that fight, but yet people in the UK do not have to pay for that fight. Like the situation is with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, where I'll have to pay for that pay-per-view, but people in the UK do not have to pay for that pay-per-view. So a UK promotional company is coming over and putting on boo-boo fights in the United States, charging people for pay-per-view, giving the fights for free to people over there in the UK. They jack up their rate. They jack up their cost by serious amounts every year. I think I've had the zone. I might have had the zone for 4 years now, and the price has tripled over the course of 3 years, far exceeding the price of inflation. But it is what it is, man. And again, Canelo is Canelo. I would not be surprised if Canelo is not able to go run back over to the PBC when those two trash fights are over, and Matchroom might ask him to fight somebody for real, even though I don't know who they have to have him fight for real. But Matchroom must just be willing for them to lose money. Just, hey, man, we'll just lose money. And they're going to lose Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya and whoever, they're going to lose money until that thing goes away. So people are like, well, whatever. But hey, man, at least they'll do a lot of damage to boxing during the same time that they're doing that. Because I don't see how in the world somebody paying somebody not to fight David Benavidez is a good thing for boxing. And in fact, man, somebody said it on my comment section, and I think they may be right, that it's almost like, you know what, it's time for boxers to make less money. It's time for boxers to have to go back to, in order to give fight fans what they want, it seems as if the money is going to have to leave boxing. So everybody that is looking to make money, looking to be, to provide for their family for boxing, you're going to have to do what Eddie Hearn wants you to do. You're going to have to do what Rick Glazier wants you to do, which is fight 6 times a year, get your face beat in, and because you're fighting for $8,000, half of which promoters are going to but are going to be gone between the promoter, the manager, the trainer, and all of that other stuff. Right. So then we'll get guys like Canelo to fight David Benavidez, because what else are you going to do? You're not going to have somebody bidding between, I want $35 million for this absolute nothing of a fight. No, well, I'll give you $75 million for a good one. No. I have 2 other people offered me garbage fights for $25 million. So I'll take the 2 garbage fights for $25 million, and you keep your $75 million for the fight or $55 million, whatever it is, for the fight that I'm going to lose. Or I may lose, or may risk me. Anyway, man, but as long as the PBC goes, bro, you know what I mean? As long as Al Heyman and those guys and Floyd Mayweather Jr. don't do well, that's really what we care about. That's really the important thing. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.